We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. I am your man behind the microphone and your Scholars of Wrestling party champion. I am Scholar Jeff. Joining us this week, as always, the OG Undisputed Scholar himself and the current Scholars of Wrestling World Champion. He is Scholar Tarek. Scholar Tarek, your shoulder on the video screen is looking a little bit looks a little bit lighter there, a little less shiny. What gives?
Well, when you have a busy schedule like me, you're just gonna tend to leave some things at home. Which is the story when it comes to Goldie. She's just now taking her vacation at home.
I see how it is. I see how it is.
Well, that's okay. I don't like Goldie or not Goldie. I think my stats this year are more than enough to just show, yeah, I'm still a reigning defending champion. And even though I'm not defending the title, not putting the title on the line for this particular show, I still have to keep watch my back with a certain beefcase holder who is running out of time.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. The threat is not going away anytime soon. And
Until a couple of months. No, it's not. It's like I'm not safe. No champion, no world champion is safe. Me
oh
or
no, you are
whoever wins
not.
it.
Now, after who knows? Maybe this is a foretaste of things to come where maybe Goldie is gonna need a little bit of a silver and red companion to go with her. Maybe maybe she's gonna need to be properly looked after by a real champion. How about
Ooh,
that?
ooh.
After
Ah,
all, I take good care of my party championship, as we well know.
oh,
So
trust me, fool. I take good care of Goldie in so many ways.
I don't want to know what that implies. So anyway, moving on.
Oh, I've
Uh,
already hinted at what it implies, and if you need a reminder, I'll post it on our scholar chat just as a reminder.
Please do not.
Who's the big champion in this show?
I'll tell you what, you better pray that I don't get that title again. Because when I do, I am going to scrub it. I'm going to sanitize it. I'm going to make it nice and clean and shiny. And then I'm going to do what I always do, the new Scholar Jeff tradition. I'm going to take it around. I'm going to have it autographed because that's what real champions do. But speaking
That's
of
okay.
real champions,
You may clean it clean her after you win her, but once I win her back, I'll make her my little dirty girl again.
I don't want to know what that implies, and neither do
You
the
know
rest of our
exactly what
audience.
I'm implying. I think
Talking
a certain
about,
Heartbreak Kids knows what I'm implying. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
and I am not going to eat for the next 72 hours. Thank you for that mental image, fool. Anywho, but since we're talking here about crafting our legacies and crafting our dynasties, we've got
Oh,
we've got AEW Dynasty on the horizon, the first AEW show of its kind, and let's see what kind of dynasty it forges for itself. Let's put our predictions. This is AEW Dynasty. Kicking things off with the pre-show, just freshly announced as of the night we're recording this. The first match in the pre-show, we've got Trent Beretta in a grudge match against Matt Seidel. First match up as the current champion. Tarek, you've got the you option of going first or deferring to the next person in line, which would be me. So with that, champ, what's your pick?
I'm gonna go with Trent Beretta to win this match. He just turned heel. He has the momentum going on with him right now. Uh, there's nothing really more else to say other than just I can't wait to see how they're gonna have the former best friends have that big eventual grudge match in the near future. What's the next one? That was the next AEW pay per view.
Good question. I feel like I just, because of all the hype surrounding WrestleMania, I really haven't been paying too much attention to the upcoming pay-per-view schedule for AEW. So I'm a little ashamed to admit I'm not entirely certain right now.
Let's get a
It's not.
confirmation
It's
as you
definitely
put
not
your
full
prediction.
gear. No, that's way in. That's way in November, I think.
Let's see. Double
But
or
anyway,
nothing.
well, oh, it is double or nothing. All right,
Mm-hmm.
that would make sense. It is usually in the summer. Okay. All that being aside, I am also going to join you on Trent Beretta. Your logic is sound. And given that this is a pre show match, I really don't think it's going to get, we're going to have too many surprises here. It's just a thing to build up some steam for Trent Beretta and to give Matt Seidel a pay per view match. So good things all around, much to be expected. Next match on the pre show card, match number 2 for the buy in. We've got a tag team match. Speaking of the best friends, Orange Cassidy teaming up with Katsuyori Shibata, taking on Shane Taylor Productions, the team of Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. This one, I'm going to go for a little something against the grain here, I think. I'm going to go with Shane Taylor Promotions, mostly because every single Shane Taylor is one of those guys where every single time I see him, I am very impressed with him. I like his vibe. He presents well. I'm like, I want to see this guy gain some steam and win more matches. Orange Cassidy, Shibata, they're both Teflon, and beating them would really give a good rub to Shane Taylor Promotions, even if it's on the pay per view or on the pre show, rather. Excuse me. With that, Tarek, which way you going?
I'm going to go the opposite end. I'm going to go with Orange Cassidy and Shibata. I think this is just pre-show good feeling. Give the like that. Give the faces their win, and it's kind of the same vibe with Trent Beretta. They're the ones that actually have the real storyline going in, and just having them gain wins, trying to one up each other is just more of a build for their inevitable grudge match, which will probably be a double or nothing.
All right, very good. Next match up, the third and presumably final match on the pre show, we've got, surprisingly, a unified trios match for both the AEW and Ring of Honor Trios Championships. We've got the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass going up against Bullet Club Gold. Tarek, who's going to be unifying the titles on this night?
When you were saying the final match, I was reading that completely different than just the final match on the pre-show. I'm hoping this is their final match together because I don't know if I've made this any more clear on this show.
Whatever
I
do you
hate
mean?
I hate this feud. I hate everything about this feud. I hate the fact that Bullet Club Gold, specifically Jay White, is in a pre-show match. A pre-show match. He should be someone who should be on the main card. But instead, you're now in this match with a very cold feud with the Acclaim and Billy Gunn, and I'm as we hinted at those couple weeks ago when we actually talked about this, just that Billy Gunn match, uh, that one-on-one match with Jay White and Billy Gunn was just horrendous, horrendous all around. Jay White got nothing in that. This should be their redemption. Give the match to Bullet Club Gold. Give them the trios title. Get distance themselves away from the Acclaimed. I don't want and Billy Gunn. I don't want them to have any more association with them. Please give these guys something better to do because they deserve so much more than just this.
Yeah, this seems to be screaming to me a victory for Bullet Club Gold for multiple reasons. You can make that argument. I will not argue against you. For me, it's also the factor that I feel like Bullet Club Gold needs a little bit more oomph on the main AEW roster. Like you said,
Yeah.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that being on the pre-show is it's not like the same thing as being on a WWE pre-show, just because of how AEW positions all of their talent and how deep and crammed in each pay-per-view night is crammed in with just like great wrestling. I mean, I could say something very similar to the likes of Orange Cassidy. And if you're saying if you've been following New Japan, you could say something very similar for Shibata, which they deserve to be on the proper match on the proper card, which again is not untrue, but it's not the same thing in my mind as like being on an episode of Sunday Night Heat from like 2002. But
I'll
that being said, I'm also gonna go with Bullet Club Gold here for no other reason than Bullet Club Gold needs it, and I really feel like this feud with the Acclaimed and arguably even the Acclaimed as a whole, they're starting to run their course here, and we need something fresh.
To an extent, I will agree with like how with the positioning. Like it's not really that big a deal, but the way I look at it is just going all the way back before they teamed up with the Acclaimed in the first place, where they were on such a momentum run that but at that time this match would have been on the main card, uh where they were constantly winning, they were building momentum, they were showing that, yeah, uh Jay White, former IWGP World Champion, former World Champion, pretty much all over except like the main companies. And then he comes to AEW and he's not really he's gaining momentum, and he's actually getting good fan support, at least Bullet Club Gold is. And then the second they joined the Acclaim, that momentum that they had just went to a complete halt. They became a comedy bit. Actually, not even, eventually became a comedy bit the week after they formed, which the reason they formed in the first place was to go against Undisputed Kingdom. And that's a disappointment in on itself. But I'll save that for the international title match later on.
Oh boy.
Uh, uh, but I feel like it's when once they joined together, they lost the reason why they were together, and they became that joke where all you see them are just basically goofing off backstage, and you see Jay White just be like, "Yeah, yeah, why am I here? Why am I a part of this? I should be doing better." And I can't argue that. He should be doing better. Honestly, at this point, he should be going, if they want to keep the momentum going, yeah, have him merge these trios titles together and actually do something with these trios titles. Because what are we doing? Ever since the House of Black dropped them, they're just they just lost any kind of real oomph. They're not shown on TV as much. They're not having title matches, and just like what's going on here?
You know, I just realized, I correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe they or Tony Khan announced that the unified trios tag team titles are going to be dubbed something like the undisputed tag team the trios titles. Are you picking
Man,
up what I'm putting down here?
I am.
They said the word. They're probably going to be saying the word. I think we see where this might be going in the future. So who knows?
Uh, in that case, now that they're actually merging these titles, at least they're hinting at merging these titles. I guess this could be a scholar's quick talk. Is this like the beginning of like some kind of transitioning of Ring of Honor kind of disappearing?
I won't say so much Ring of Honor disappearing as much as it is making it like making Ring of Honor their equivalent of NXT. Like
Oh yeah, that
there's
was
like more of like an expansion to the quote unquote main roster, even though at this point people are just sort of coming and going wherever. That makes sense.
It makes sense, and yeah, that was the whole point of them purchasing Ring of Honor in the first place, to have it be their equivalent of NXT. But I just don't. I feel like they're just, because they don't really acknowledge it, other than just, oh, here are the Ring of Honor champions. Any of them really. I mean, Ember Moon's the only real person who's actually keeping that brand afloat. Honestly,
Which, by the way, I would be remiss if my nerdy ass did not point this out. Did you happen to catch Athena's entrance at Death Before Dishonor, the last major show that they Ring of Honor had?
honestly, I haven't.
She
I
came
actually,
out
I
dressed as my favorite character from Baldur's Gate 3. I was just like, damn, that's awesome. Fan for life. Let's go. Mm.
apparently they're trying to get her to get back on AEW TV, and my question is, why the hell has she been off for so long?
I would, this is just a guess on my part, but I think it's mostly having to do with just like booking and organization. In general, I feel like AEW right now, for all the right reasons, mind you, is kind of going through a bit of a growing pains situation right now where there's glaring issues at this point and
Oh yeah.
things need to be recalibrated. They still have their great supply of wrestlers. They can put on a great show, obviously. But in terms of just like management and booking and taking things up to the next level, that is something that they're in the process of figuring out. I'm confident they'll get there, but this is going to take a little bit of time.
And it is quite a mountain for them to climb. Because I agree. I think they'll get back to that point as they were, I guess, pre-pandemic, when they were super hot. But apparently, we live in a world where two big wrestling companies can't be hot at the same time, and WWE is just riding that train of just, I fell into a burning ring of fire. That's how hot they are.
Well, they are
And
coming still off the heels of one of the biggest WrestleManias of all time, which I do not
Mhm.
believe to be any exaggeration. Not that I'm
even
biased or
even
anything.
beforehand, even like before Rumble, WWE has just been on this real hot streak. And when AEW is trying to build their own hot streak up, which they have the people to do it, there's always that one thing that just puts them to a halt. And thank God, at least the most recent one with that stupid CM Punk video last week. Okay, it's apparently Tony Khan has said, there, it's out of my system. Focus. Thank you, Tony. We like to have you focus on what you have, and what you have is some great, great stuff.
I totally agree with that. And speaking of some great, great stuff, next match on the card, the first one on the card proper, we've got another trios match. We've got Adam Copeland, my boy Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe taking on the House of Black. I think it goes without saying I'm going to go with Team Adam Copeland here. It's all the guys I like, and with the way this feud is going on, they need a little bit of oomph there. So yeah, I'll take Team Adam to win. Tark, what say you?
I want to pick Team Copeland, but I feel like something is telling me that during this show, we're going to have the return of the patriarch to cost them their match. I'm going to go with House of Black. Just for the fact that I
Hmm.
just think this is going to be the moment where Christian Cage comes back and costs Adam Copeland their match.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
If Christian wasn't coming back, then yeah, I definitely believe it's Team Copeland for the win. But something is telling me Christian's gonna come back and be like, I will get my revenge. Daddy's gonna get his revenge here, and he's gonna get back his TNT championship to show why he is the daddy of TNT. He never calls himself that, but you know what? I'm dubbing him that, the daddy of TNT.
You're It sounds like you were starting off as a Christian Cage impression, but you very quickly devolved into Dusty Rhodes' heel version.
Apparently so. I honestly I didn't even think I was connecting as a Christian as like tone wise. I'm like, I'm not
Either
even
way,
sounding like him at
you
all.
were doing a voice, and
And
it
then I
looked like
came
you
into
were
Dusty
going into
Rhodes,
Dusty
baby.
Rhodes. You were going to Dusty Rhodes territory, Daddy. But anyway,
TNT daddy.
speaking of daddies, next match on the card is for the FTW Championship. Hook is defending against Chris Jericho. Tarek, give us something.
Now I'm just thinking the next AEW show I go to, I'm just gonna have Christian Cage, the TNT daddy.
You have to spell it out that way on the side. Daddeh. Daddy.
Daddy. Daddy. But yeah, for the I don't see Jericho winning this. Hook for the win.
Yeah,
Please distance
I'm
himself from
really
Jericho.
I'm really looking forward to the day when Hook runs into somebody who can really take that thing off of him. I think that has some makings of not just a good feud, but something fresh for the FTW title, whatever that may be. But I just don't think this is it. I agree with you. I'm going to go with Hook for the win. That'll bring us to our next match on the card. We've got for the International Championship, we've got Roderick Strong going up against Kyle O'Reilly. And for this one, this is a tough one, but I feel like Undisputed Kingdom needs a little something here. So I anticipate some shenanigans, and Roderick Strong ends up retaining this due to interference from the Undisputed Kingdom. Tarek, what do you think?
I think you saying Roderick Strong and the Undisputed Kingdom need this win is an understatement. Cause goddamn, since the first week they showed up when we watched it at Prudential, first Dynamite of the year. Oh my goodness, any kind of momentum they had was just at a complete and utter halt. And it is so sad to say that it's also at the cost of the relevant, well, not the complete, but just any kind of relevancy that Orange Cassidy put on that international championship. It's lost that because man, this is not I'm this is the one match I'm looking forward to the least. And I know these guys can put off a great match with against one another, but I'm also going to go with Roderick Strong to retain because, again, needing the win is an understatement. They need something to get back, to gain any form of like heat because the Undisputed Kingdom are cold as ice.
So here's a quick Scholars Quick Talk question for you. Uh, if by some stretch of the imagination, Kyle O'Reilly actually ends up winning the international title, and you see it happening, what is your reaction going to be?
What do you? Okay, let's see what you do.
If Roderick Strong ends up losing, what's your reaction going to be?
Roderick, no.
Thank you. I was setting you up for that. I'm like, I hope he gets this. So like,
Oh, as soon as you said it the second time, I'm like, oh, I see what you're going at.
ah, ah, ah. I
Oh,
had to do
oh,
it.
oh,
O'Reilly.
O'Reilly, your new
Oh no,
champ.
part. Hey, anywho,
Oh, but that's probably the only reason why I would want Kyle O'Reilly to win. To like, okay, I'm back. I was lost when I came back. I didn't know where I was going. I don't know what direction I was going at. If I win this title, there you go, a direction for me.
truth be
At the
told, I
cost
did
of
come close to that, but again, the reputation of what Undisputed Kingdom needs right now is what sort of overrode that in my mind.
Mhm. In my personal opinion, I felt like when Undisputed Kingdom first got together or they first formed, I'm just like, give the international title to Wardlow. I think he would actually do more with that title than Roderick Strong could ever do. This is just This is just another reign. He's not like Orange Cassidy made the title special, and Roderick Strong doesn't.
Hmm.
If anything, like you could have given those guys the trios title, and then yeah, give Wardlow the international title because I think he could have done a lot more. Because hell, what is Wardlow even doing now? Where is he?
No one knows.
Is he now back in Wardlow's world? And now I'm just now hearing the Bobby's World scene playing in my head. Just where's Wardlow? Wardlow's World. They're turning
Wardlow
into jokes. I'm turning them into
Wardlow drives by on a little tricycle
on a
backstage,
tricycle. Uh,
drinking a juice box.
uh, Running into Howie Mandel. Yeah, why not?
They they just goes on every single TV show Howie Mandel has ever showed up on. He just shows up on Deal or No Deal randomly.
It just sucks that like the reason Undisputed Kingdom is now at in such a sad position. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, that Wardlow's World. That
I
that's just silly.
I know it is, isn't it? But hey, he was going with Wardlow's World before he became a part of the Undisputed Kingdom. He brought it upon himself. I'm sorry,
I know it's just,
but
it's a sad thing when we're making our own fun when it comes to this. Uh-oh, did we lose Tarek? Uh-oh, this is not good. All right. We're going to put a pin in this for now, and we are going to get Tarek right back. And we're back. Tarek, you there?
always remember to plug in your laptop before you start recording. Oops.
Whoopsie doodle, but we're back. Always well, kids.
Okay, but yes, Undisputed Kingdom. It all got ruined. It all got ruined when both Adam Cole and MJF got injured and had to take time off, and they had no plan afterwards, except like, oh, I had a plan, but they didn't see it that way. Instead, whatever kind of heat you were giving Wardlow by throwing him into the world title picture was just a complete and utter mistake. But yeah, Undisputed Kingdom need the win, and now let's move on. There's nothing else to say.
Yeah, moving on to a feud that actually does have some heat and sauce to it. We've got for the TBS Championship, Julia Hart defending her title against Willow Nightingale. Tarek, I believe it's your pickup first now? Question mark.
I believe so. I think yeah, I think you picked first with
Okay.
the strong. Okay.
Fire
So
away, Julia or Willow?
Julia. I don't see them taking the title off her. They seem to be saving for Julia versus Mercedes Monet. And I think how I'm thinking about this is Mercedes Monet is going to win the title and have her match with Willow Nightingale. Uh, and I honestly think Mercedes Monet should honestly turn heel because her character is kind of boring. That's just me personally.
Yeah, I'll make this very succinct. I think just the opposite. I think that Willow is finally going to win her TBS championship. And I think whether or not she interferes during or shows up after, I think Mercedes is going to make her presence known then. And then I don't think Mercedes needs any titles straight away. Her own star power is going to be enough. And I think her versus Julia Hart could be a great first feud for her run in AEW. So I'm going to go with Willow Nightingale for this one.
Okay. I actually don't really have that much other than just be like, okay, Mercedes Monet is just. I'm now just waiting for her to actually have her first match. Simply put,
Very
I'm kind
true.
of
I
done
just want to
with
see her
I'm
do
done with her
something.
promos. I'm done with her promos. I'm done with her just showing up. Is she gonna attack Willow? Is she not? Oh, hi, Adam. Shake hands. Okay.
That's it.
So, okay. Are we gonna do something? Please? I like you. I
Soon.
like you. I like you, Mercedes. I'm not as harsh on you as like some others are, including some scholars. But come on, man, get in the goddamn ring. I actually want to see you wrestle. Your promos aren't really that miraculous. They kind of remind me of like Vince McMahon era promos, and you're kind of losing your momentum. Like, are you gonna just be worth the money that they gave you? Please,
Hey,
hurry
we
up.
just we just want to see the
Impatient.
return on that investment because she is big recent signing number one. And moving on, we also have big recent signing number two in the next match for the Continental Championship, whatever you want to call it. We've got Kazuchika Okada defending his title against Pac. Uh, yeah, at least we one benefit to modern AEW is I get to see Okada wrestle on my television on a weekly basis. So that's great. And I am convinced that we're going to see what we did before. We're going to see by the time the next Continental Crown Championship tournament comes around, it's going to be Okada doing his thing in the tournament and defending the title all throughout that, doing the whole G1 climax thing as he is off to do. And to get there, it's going to come down to a title defense at AEW Dynasty. Cool. What do you think?
I'm also going to go with Okada. He's going to be AEW's equivalent of Goldberg. He is going to have a long undefeated streak. I don't see anybody really beating him like anytime soon. He is going to just keep riding this. Uh, yeah, he'll probably not lose a match this year at this point.
Say what you will about the Young Bucks, and I think we all are at some capacity or whatever, but to their credit, they have been superb in building Okada for a Western audience at this rate. They've done about as good of a job as they possibly could explaining and showing off why Okada is a big deal, what makes him so great, what makes him so cool. So I think to continue on with that trend, you're absolutely right. I think he's not going to be losing a big match anytime soon.
The only
So yeah,
person, the only person who I can actually see him winning, I can actually see him losing or beating Okada. The only person I can see beating Okada at this point will probably be Will Ospreay.
that is bound to be an excellent match whenever they choose to do it. I'm not sure if it's going to be at All In or at some other thing, but that will be a main event on any card at any point during the year for sure.
Absolutely.
That being said, we've got our next match on the card. Speaking of the Young Bucks, we've got for the AEW tag team titles in a ladder match. We've got the Young Bucks going up against FTR once again. Uh, Tarek, your pick up first. Which way you going on this one?
This is their third match, correct?
I believe that is correct. Yes.
I kind of wish this wasn't a ladder match. I kind of wanted it to be a straightforward tag team match because I don't think this match really needed a gimmick to be in it. But, well, that's just me. We have the gimmick, and I see the Young Bucks winning this one with the help with a returning Jack Perry to join the Elite.
Yeah, this one seems pretty much cut and dry, especially when we've seen the reaction to the backstage footage, which I fully admit was much more positive than I was expecting. Ratings got a small spike, but also the reactions for Jack Perry. I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but it worked out better than I expected. I wanted this to at least result in some oomph for Jack Perry, some heat in his direction, some something really. And I'm
Mhm.
glad they're getting the results that they are. And I think if this is the if this really is the pathway to bring him back into the fold, then hey, more power to him. I hope it would actually give us some good wrestling out of this whole debacle. And I think that begins with let's be real. It's the ladder match between the Young Bucks and FTR. I don't see this being bad in the slightest. I don't think
No,
they
not at
know
all.
how to put on a bad match.
No, these four know how to put on an amazing match, and we're gonna definitely get that.
But yeah, I'm going for the Bucks winning from interference from Jack Perry.
Now you think their first, well, not first, but like future tag match with Motor City Machine Guns.
That's right. They're on. The rumors are that they're on the horizon, and hey, I wouldn't be mad about that at
I
all.
wouldn't be mad about that either. I'll be like, oh, well, there you go. I'm all for it. Or all in.
Hey,
Hey,
the next match on our card, we've got yet another title match. We've got Tony Storm defending the AEW Women's Championship against Thunder Rosa. For me, I can't not go for Tony Storm here. Her gimmick has been too much fun. I've been enjoying it way too much. As much as I still love me some Thunder Rosa, I I just don't feel confident that she's going to take it off of Tony when Tony's been doing such a killer job still. So yeah, I'm going to go with Tony. Tark, what say you?
I'm also gonna go with Tony. This is more of a hard thing. I'm just in love. I'm in love with Tony Storm. Even before this gimmick change, I've always been a just a admirer of Tony Storm. And
Oh,
this
haven't
this
we all?
and then yeah, this gimmick just rose her stock to a whole new level. And I just want to see her hold on to that title for a long time. So timeless, Tony Storm.
Indeed. Yes, this reign certainly will be timeless. But speaking of more timeless talent, what's a segue? We're looking at the next match on the card: Will Ospreay versus Brian Danielson. Damn, son. Yeah, Tark, what do you think?
Shit, I hate that I have to go because this is the match that it's still the hardest match for me to decide. I before it was always so cut and dry who's winning this one. But now with the storyline going on with Blackpool Combat Club versus the what do they call them? Uh what is the Don Callis? It's the Don Callis family, right?
Don Callis family, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like they're continuing the storyline. So like I feel like this is more than like a one-time deal, which beforehand I always thought it was going to be a one-time deal, but now that they're really building this Blackpool Combat Club versus the Don Callis family, I don't know which one to choose. Like, do they have Danielson win to get back the fact that the family took him out recently? And is this more of like throwing the continuing wrench into the gears of the Don Callis family Will Ospreay relationship? And will this inevitably like lead to at least the family turning against him? And it's definitely confirmed that they're continuing this feud because now we're getting Moxley versus Hobbs next on the next Dynamite. So
Which way are you going to go?
which way like which way really does make sense? Because like, will Danielson get his revenge, and this will be just the first of many between him and Osprey, or are they just gonna just have the first match go with Osprey? I don't know. Um,
I'll tell you what, I know which way I'm going, but and I know why I'm going the way I am. But I'm gonna let you take your pick first.
I'm I'm gonna go with Danielson to win. I know I'm like it's a very slim chance that Danielson's gonna win, but I'm at this point I'm willing to just keep going. I keep throwing risks in. I'm gonna try and throw the difference, be the difference maker in these predictions because I know everyone else probably picked Osprey. Um, but in order like in order for this story to really continue for me at least, I feel like Danielson needs to get the first win in order to be like, okay, well, is the Don Callis family holding you back with this whole it's like they come out this on Dynamite and attack Claudio Castagnoli after their beautiful match, like masterpiece of a match. That match was pay-per-view levels awesome.
It sure was. Props where it's due.
And like now you have him attack Claudio and him just going, what are you guys doing? What are you doing, bruv? What are you doing, bro? Like, really? Why are you doing this? So they're already throwing the wrenches into this already. Hell, they've been throwing it after Hobbs had that issue with him losing after his match with Osprey. So are they going to continue with that? I guess we'll see.
And I don't disagree with anything you've said, minus one thing. As we've as you sort of touched on, Fool, Will Ospreay does not fall into this usual breed of the Don Callis family. He's not a pure heel. It's like we're talking about the Don Callis family, and then there's Will Ospreay, who's just on right out of the gate being positioned as like a main event level dude. And he is.
Which he should be.
And he's also more of a baby face who's just surrounded by bad guys. So he sort of breaks the rules of the traditional logic that comes with this kind of faction warfare. And it's for that reason and how fresh he is that I'm going to go with Osprey. I
I
think
know I'm
it's
going to be
not
the
going
only
to.
one who probably chose Danielson.
Oh no! As of we're still waiting on the picks from one more scholar, but as of right this second, the room is split. We've got two votes
Really?
for Danielson, two votes for Osprey.
So Charlie chose us Danielson?
Charlie chose Danielson. Jeremy went
Wow.
Osprey.
Yeah, I
We're
saw
just
Jeremy's predictions. Yeah.
yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, as of right this second, the room is split. This could go either way.
I'm actually genuinely shocked. I thought I was going to be the only one. I'm thinking I'm choosing this one out of my ass. I mean, well,
Nope.
not out of my ass. I mean,
You're both choosing it out of
I
both
have
of
my
your
reasons.
asses.
I I have my reasons.
Yeah,
Well,
your ass.
I feel like yeah, I like well, yeah, my ass, but I gave you why I predicted this one. I feel like Charlie just predicted Danielson because he made it perfectly clear how he feels about Will Ospreay. I feel like he's just doing it because he just doesn't like Will Ospreay.
Well, even if that is the case, what
I'm
if he
making that
actually
assumption. He
does
can't defend
win?
himself. He can't defend himself.
But you know what? If it gets you there, it's not that dumb. So hey, even if that's all the logic there is, if it hits, it hits.
I mean,
Can't
yeah,
argue with that.
there's my logic, and I feel like I feel 95% I'm wrong on this one, and I'm just looking too much into this. But you know me, I'm a guy who's like really focusing on the details of the story that's being told because pro wrestling is a lot more than just the wrestling. It's the story being told, and how I see the story being told is just Will Ospreay is not long for the Don Callis family.
For
Like
sure. For
Like
sure.
I am 100 ever since his debut, like his official AEW Will Ospreay is all elite thing. I'm like, oh, this guy is destined to be the top face of this company, which he deserves it because he's so goddamn good.
And with that note, speaking of being the top face of the company, that brings us to our final match. We've got for the AEW championship, we've got Samoa Joe defending the title against Swerve Strickland. And I would love to make my final pick here, but I got a ticket the other day and I can't do that right away.
Did I miss something in that?
No, I was just explaining that I got a ticket the other day because I swerved when I drive. Yeah, I swerve when I drive.
Ah,
Hey,
yep.
not all the
I totally
jokes are
missed the
going
joke.
to land
This is
here.
me. No, 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 no. Cool. This is me. This is me. I'm listening to the joke. This is your joke. This way. I should have seen that coming.
I was like, why did you get a ticket? What does this have to do with wrestling? It's swerve.
Where are they?
None of this, whatever.
I was like,
I'm good.
where is they having it this year? Where are they having Dynasty? Did you get a ticket for it? Where the hell is it? It's like, what? You just got WrestleMania. What are you doing?
So in other words, I should have set up that priming thing, whatever. I'm going with Swerve. Okay, I think it's a good time to do it. I just Swerve. Plus, they've been building up a lot about like, oh, you're a choke artist, you can't win the big one, yada yada, and yeah, Swerve has been killing it. He's definitely more worthy than he's ever been in his career, and yeah, I can see this happening. You?
I could see it happening too, but I also can't because I think I've said this on a previous episode. I I see Adam Page returning to cost him the title.
Hmm.
I feel like the
I can
show is
see it too.
I'm I'm predicting a lot of like a lot of like shenanigans in these predictions. Especially oh man, when you said this was the final match, I'm like, oh wow, really? We flew through these predictions.
Well, there are only two of us this time around, so
Yeah, that is fair. I will, but I also will say I found that whole closing angle with him taking out 8 security guards by stomping on 2 of them to be kind of ridiculous. Good visual, but goddamn, I was like, it just doesn't doesn't work for me. That didn't work. I like Swerve, but it's like, oh, you hit 2 guys, and it's that domino scene from Robin Hood Men in Tights. That's
bloop,
how I
bloop, bloop,
felt.
bloop, bloop.
Aha, right rope. Um, um, but when it is it time for Samoa Joe to lose the championship? That's the $1 million question. At least for me. Because I know Jeremy is the most vocal on how much he doesn't like Joe. But I you know what? Might as
Hmm.
well. I'll go with Swerve too. Because I think if anything, they'll have Adam Page come back to be his first feud. Like
Yeah.
if he doesn't
Huh.
come back, like even though he did make it his mission to make sure Swerve is not champion. Yeah, I don't know why I'm not confident in this one, but yeah, I'll pick Swerve too.
I think it, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing, I think we
And
all know
story.
that Hangman is going to be involved in some capacity. He's going to be somewhere. But much like Mercedes Monet, I feel like we're not 100% certain where he's going to show up. Is he going to interfere? Is he going to show up after the match? Like, it's it's not being projected. So
Is he
we
going to be the
it can
solo in
go
this
either
match?
way. Yeah, who knows? We certainly don't. This could go absolutely go either way. And it looks like the results reflect that too.
Mm-hmm.
But all that aside, those are our full predictions for AEW Dynasty. Now we're turning over to you, our fellow fans. What do you think is going to happen? Who's going to walk away with a new championship? Is anybody going to
Whose
return?
house?
Whose house is it really? No matter what
Swerve's
you
house.
think, we
Whose
want to hear
house?
from you all across the internet. So drop us a line, YouTube comments, Facebook posts, yada, yada, or you can join in the conversation on the Twitter machines or X or whatever you want to call it if you're nasty. Fool, where can they reach you?
You can reach me at the Avataric. I couldn't think of anything clever to say. Just, just straightforward.
Who do you think you are? Me every given week? And you can also join me at I'm Robbie Rage. Join in the conversation. And for all of these relevant social media links and much more, check us out at our link tree in the description box below. That's linktree/Scholars Wrestling. Like the video, all that stuff. If you're listening,
Subscribe.
and do all that stuff if you're listening to the podcast version too, wherever you are. We feel the love wherever you are. And we always feel it because you know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
See you all at the forging of the next dynasty.